Morning everybody. Today I'm going to show you how to make mustard. Okay, mustard is actually quite easy to make once you know how to do it. You just need some yellow mustard powder and a few spices, some vinegar and some water, and a pot and a whisk. And here's the list of ingredients. First thing you want to do is measure the mustard powder itself. I always do this over a plate because if it spills, it's kind of messy to clean up, and it's just quicker this way. You can just throw the plate in the dishwasher, run it under the tap. Now, see? Now what you want to do is you want to get a half a cup roughly, but you don't want to tamp it down too much, all right? Now, this is a starting recipe for mustard. Obviously, if you change the proportions of the ingredients at all, you're going to get a different taste and a different texture. Think of this as like a springboard recipe just for you to learn how to make it, and then you can mess around with it like you want. So I've got my mustard here, and I'll just pop that in the pan for now, the pot there. And then I'm going to add the other spices. So the paprika and the garlic powder are in. I'm adding the salt. I always do the turmeric last. Now, one thing you should understand about turmeric is that is what gives mustard its, yellow mustard consistency. Because if you look at the color of the mustard powder right now, it looks very pale and unappealing. So what you want to do is you want to carefully, I must say carefully, add your turmeric. And this as well, I'll just do on the side over the plate here, because this does get really messy and it's hard to clean up. What you have to remember about this is the amount of turmeric is going to control how yellow it gets, okay? So, and it does add some flavor too. So if you find the color of the mustard that I'm going to make today is too yellow for you, we'll just cut back a bit on the turmeric. I would do it 1/4 teaspoon at a time until you get your desired result. So it's time to move over to the stove. Now, before I turn on the heat or add the liquids, I'm just going to mix it up quick to try to break up any big lumps in any of the spices. Like there's a chunk of paprika there. So I put in the half cup of vinegar here, and that's one thing I should mention, The amount of vinegar is what controls the tang or the bite of the mustard. I like this amount because it's easy to remember and measure. Half cup each, mustard, vinegar, and water. If you don't like your mustard quite so tart, what you want to do is pull back on the amount of vinegar. I would recommend adjusting it out a tablespoon at a time. Like when you pour it off, just leave a little bit in the bottom of the cup and see how you are with that. Now, I don't know, personally, I find that the flavor of this is superior to store-bought. That's my opinion. You guys can try your own and see if you agree. Last thing is the water. Just pour all in at once. And even though it's morning, I think I am going to turn on the light here, just so you can get a good look at the color. Now, you want to make sure that you've got nothing stuck before you start. So if your whisk is not getting in the corners there, like over here, there's a bit stuck, I'll just show you. What you can do is just get a small spatula to help you out there. And just make sure that all the bits are out of the corner before you turn the heat on. Okay, that's looking nice. So now I'm going to turn the heat on to medium to bring this to a boil. I do not advise using high heat to get it to boil rapidly, because if you do, it can burn up the sides. But then again, if some of you like a burnt mustard, well, hey, whatever. It's your stuff, as I always say. I'm just showing you how to make it. You've got that stirred up and there's no lumps at all. Just let that heat up a bit until it comes to a boil. So it's starting to heat up now. Just going to show you, you can see the bubbling at the side of the pan there. So this is where you want to start stirring gently, because you'll notice right at the beginning it was extremely liquidy and runny and didn't look like mustard at all except for the color. So what this is going to do is it's going to cook it, and it's going to evaporate off some of the liquids like the water and some of the vinegar and make it more concentrated. Now, what's important to remember, even though you're tempted to, don't put your face over the pan. Okay? Boiling vinegar is not something you want to breathe in, trust me. So once it's come to the stage where it's doing like a little lava boil where there's just little bubbles coming up but it's controlled, I would let it boil for about a minute or so. Okay, keeping a close eye on it, and then you're going to turn the heat down to adjust it to the texture and consistency that you want, because this is your mustard. And some people like a runny mustard, some people like a really thick mustard, and this is how you control it by the length of the cooking time. Now, that's looking to start to get a bit excited there while I was yakking with you. And you can actually see up the sides it's starting to thicken up there. Okay? So I think this is boiled long enough, and what I'm going to do is turn the heat right down to low, and I will leave it on low heat for about 5 minutes and see where we are. It's been 5 minutes, and I'm going to zoom in so you can get a good look here. You can see that the surface is uneven, that there are little bubbles at the bottom. They're trying to form, but they can't actually break through the mustard, which shows that it's getting nice and thick. Alright? So what you want to do now is abandon the whisk and just use your spatula. I did this once while I was heating up, so you can see there's streaks on the side. What you want to do, if you need to, if it's overheating, yeah, you can see that right there, okay? It's thickened up quite nicely, and there's some bits on the side that aren't actually burnt, but they're a little overheated. And if you get them in here and stir them up nice, they will incorporate without wrecking your mustard. So what I'm going to do now, this still looks runny, but you got to remember it's boiling. Anything like this will thicken up when it cools. So I'm going to turn the heat off right now and just give you a little show here of what the consistency is like and the color, and it's looking pretty nice. I'm going to take this and set this outside, because in my part of the world it's starting to get pretty cold. Yeah, there's snow for Halloween here, if you can believe that, eh? Okay, so I'll set that outside for a few minutes and come back and we'll take a look at it. So I got the camera freehand here, sorry for the wobble. I just want to show you what a good color this is out in the sunlight, and also the texture. Okay, so I'm just going to go in now and just put this in a bowl. Now I just keep this in a little bowl in the fridge. You should always keep your mustard refrigerated. And I mean, of course, if you got a clean jar, you can use that too. Here's the completed mustard, cooled down a bit. The flavor will improve over a few days, and it will thicken up considerably in the fridge. And I personally find this tastes better than the stuff you buy in the store. And once you've done your outlay for the spices, preferably if you can get them in bulk, this is considerably cheaper than store-bought by quite a bit. If you can get like bulk mustard powder and bulk everything else, right? Okay, so that's how I make mustard, and thank you for watching, and I really hope you give this a shot. You know, this is a real easy recipe to make, and I think you'll be glad you tried it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again.